All right. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I heard the moans. Get over it. It'll be okay. I actually have some cheat sheets for you guys in the back. See, I have lots of sermon notes today. Lots and lots of notes. But I'm not going to do them right now. I'm going to read this one little thing that I've read before, and then I'm going to share another out of my great book here. 10 little Christians standing in a line. One disliked the preacher, and then there were 9. Which one of you's leaving? Okay. One overslept on Sunday, and then there were 8. 8 little Christians on their way to heaven. One took the low road, and then there were 7. 7 little Christians chirping like chicks. One disliked the music, and then there were 6. 6 little Christians seemed very much alive, but one lost his interest, and then there were 5. 5 little Christians pulling up for heaven's shore, but one stopped to rest, and then there were 4. 4 little Christians, as busy as a bee. One got his feelings hurt, and then there were 3. 3 little Christians knew not what to do. One joined the sporty crowd, and then there were 2. 2 little Christians, our rhyme is nearly done, differed with each other, and then there was 1. 1 little Christian can't do much, 'tis true, brought his friend to Bible study, and then there were 2. 2 earnest Christians, each one more. That doubled the number, and then there were 4. 4 sincere Christians worked early and late, each one another, and then there were 8. 8 splendid Christians. If they doubled as before, in just 7 Sundays, there would be 1,024. Think about that. Think about that. And let's see if I can. And see if I can find this other one that I was looking at, but I probably can't. At the 23rd Avenue Christian Church, Brother Charles finished his Sunday school lesson. It was a time for questions. Up shot little Tony's hand. According to the Bible, Mr. Smith, the children of Israel crossed the Red Sea, right? Right, he said. And the children of Israel clobbered the Philistines, right? That's right, Tony. And the children of Israel built the temple, right? Right again. And the children of Israel fought the Egyptians, and the children of Israel fought the Romans, and the children of Israel was always doing something important, right? All that's right, too, agreed Brother Charles. So what's your question? What I want to know is, what was all the grown-ups doing? Sometimes kids have the best things to say. And today, as we read these scriptures, I want to talk about these 2 scriptures. In the first one in Isaiah, it says, enlarge my tent, the place of my tent. Let me stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations, and spare not, and lengthen the cords, and strengthen the stakes. Well, if you've ever put up a tent, you know you got to pull it tight, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. And I went last year on vacation and took this tent that was supposed to be fit for 8 people. And by the time me and my friend Susan got this tent put together, I couldn't have cared less if it fit 8 people or a half a dozen or 2 or 1. Because it took us about 6 hours to put this tent together. We pulled and we tugged and we pushed, and all the time we were doing this, there was a man over at the other campsite looking like this. He was watching us. And finally, this poor little man down the way came over and said, could you ladies use a hand? And we were like, yes, please, help me, help us. So we got the tent put up. It was a great looking tent. It had these 2 rooms, and it had a little outward thing that you could zip up so we could have a place for our porta potty. We were so excited. We wouldn't have to walk up the hill to the facilities. We could have our little porta potty, and we were set. And of course, in the middle of the night, boom, the rain came. And somehow we didn't pull the cords tight enough. And I woke up and something felt strange. And I heard my friend over on the other side saying, "Oh, Lord." And I said, "What is it?" She goes, "We're floating." It was soaking wet in our tent. The water had dripped in, and we could almost wade water in the tent. So she scrambled to her feet, grabbed what was left of some dry clothes, and ran to the truck. And while I was left to weather the water. So I'm going back on vacation in November. I'm going to the same place, but this time I got a little smarter. Me and my friend, which is another friend because that friend told me she'd never go back again. Another friend of mine who enjoys camping as much as I do, we're renting the Yurt. It has heat, and it has air conditioning, and it has all those great things and those amenities, and I hope that it doesn't leak. So we learned a lesson. I'm through with tent camping unless it's something like that. I'm too old to float around on the water. But I want you to see that in Isaiah 54, this person is talking to a barren woman. A woman who's never had children, and it says, and it's a metaphorical thing because it's talking to Israel, and God is saying to them, enlarge, get ready. You're going to grow. You're going to abundantly receive people. You're going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And then as we read in the prayer of Jabez, how many of you have heard that prayer? Some of you have? Nobody at Truman had heard that prayer. Nobody. I was amazed because it's been around for a while, but in the middle of what Jabez, the prayer here, Jabez is, there are people that are saying, this one belonged to that sect, and this one did this, and this one was this person, and this one was this. And it was a boring chapter in Chronicles. But in the middle of all of these people who belonged to somebody and belonged to somebody else, Jabez was more honorable than his brothers and sisters. And he asked God to enlarge his territory and to say, please help me so that I don't cause pain. And he was bold in what he asked. And God granted his request. He wanted to do more. Now, when I was first at the Methodist Church, where I became a real active person, we had a prayer group on Wednesday nights. It was a group of elderly ladies that we called the Blue Hairs. Y'all know about those folks? I know about those folks. But we went, and there was only a couple of us that were of young age at that time, and we went and we began to pray, and they had a list of things, of scriptures that we would actually pray. And one of the scriptures was the prayer of Jabez. Enlarge my territory. And the lady who was leading the group was Miss Mary. And Miss Mary would come around to each one of us and put her hand on us and say, Lord, enlarge Pam's territory. Lord, enlarge Relda's territory. And we got to the point that she was telling us that every day we would meet somebody that God has sent to us. And that every day we would be able to enlarge what we could teach and what we could give about God. And so it got to where when we would come in and Miss Mary would go to put her hands on us, my friend Relda said, please don't touch me. Please don't pray for me anymore. I've got enough people to talk to during the day. Because sometimes it was overwhelming that God would send someone into your life. This week at the food pantry, Sue had an experience. Didn't you, Sue? At the food pantry, you had an experience.
Tell me what it was.
The little man. The little man. The little man with the... I'm going to let her tell you that story. But while Sue was in there having her experience, there was another experience going on in the office. And Brenda and Terry can tell you about that story. I'm not gonna put it out because we may be, I don't know if we're live or not. Are we live? Okay. I'm not gonna put it out because it's private. But I want you to talk to Sue and Brenda and Terry and discover these stories this week. Because we never know what kind of influence or what kind of thing makes people come. So I want you to begin to think, and I want you to begin to get a vision with me that it's time for us to grow again. Look, we're kind of filling up the pews, but when I was up there last week and I took a picture down here, these front pews are still empty. Hello, move up, move up. So when we have visitors and they're still a little bit gun shy about coming to church, they'll have a place to sit, okay? If you look on our Facebook page, it shows the picture that I took from up there last week. I want you to get a vision that we're ready to grow again. I believe God is sending us a message that it's time for us to expand our territory one more time. I believe He's telling us it's time to move forward. It's time to get some new ideas. Hannah called me this week. She had the idea about the pop-up shop. I'm excited. Okay, go with it. I don't care. The youth are growing. Y'all have new people just about every week, don't you? The youth are growing. You may not see them on Sunday morning, but they're here on Wednesday nights. They went to Fields of Faith. Was that a good thing?
It was really good. And I should post a video, or I'll send it to you, of 4 of them. It was Dalton, Layla, Andy, and Emery, and they were praising, just swaying together. It was cold, it was sweet, but it was really good.
I went to Fields of Faith. That's something. Our territory is enlarging. Our tent is expanding. One day we're going to get to that yurt. And I hope that it's very soon. I'm looking forward to that. We've had some things going on. And we've got some things going on. But I don't want you to expect the pain of the past to limit us for the future. I don't want you to hold on to yesterday's memories and say, oh, well, we've never done it like that. I know there's a lot of things we've never done before. But what was it that they used to say on Star Trek? To go, boldly go where no man has gone before. I saw Rhonda, she was mouthing that with me. To boldly go where no man has gone before. It takes a little effort. It takes us walking together and being in one accord. We've got to get to that place. Boldly we have to go. I believe that it's time to move forward. And I'm going to tell you why I believe. Now, this is crazy, and you can look at me like I'm crazy. I don't care. I'm over that point in my life where I know I'm kind of, it's okay with me. But I'm going to tell you, I don't dream. I'm one of those people, when I go to bed, I have 92 pillow flops. I flip and flop, and I'm like a rotisserie chicken in the bed. I go this way and that way, and I'm done on every side until I actually fall asleep. And very seldom do I dream. But this last week, I had a dream. No, I'm not Martin Luther King. Don't go there. I had a dream, and it was about the 2 churches. And I dreamed that we were bulging at the seams, that we had begun to have to expand, and that we had a big glass door, and there were people pouring in from the outside. And that there were children running amok everywhere, and the parents were just like this. Well, yeah. But Hannah, what a blessing. What a blessing. And I want you all to know that God is moving us. God is going to shake you to your core. I can assure you that you're going to begin to shake. I can assure you that you're going to have to dig deeper than ever before. I want you to come to the conclusion of what God is asking us to stretch and do. I want to come to the conclusion that we are to be about God's business, and that we are bold people. We're not shy and timid anymore. All of you, I'm going to pick on you, Wes. All of you know Wes is an introvert. You know how many people he's invited to church? There's a row back there. And they've asked each other, and they're beginning to grow. What have we done? What have we done? We're old. We're cantankerous. I come up with a word the other day that I was crumpy. That's halfway between crabby and grumpy. I've decided that's I'm crumpy now. But what have we done? We need to be asking ourselves, what can we do? What can we do? What does God want us to do? Where do we need to go? Where do we need to go from here? We're growing. There are people looking at us. The conference is looking at us. There are communities that are looking with us. I ran into a Baptist minister that most of you know that I'm not going to name, that said, look, I'm going to tell you this one time. If there's a competition between the Methodists and the Baptists, I'm up in my game. I said, bring it, brother. Bring it. Bring it. So we're going places that we have never gone before. And it's not about the denomination. It's not about it. What he was talking about is he sees our growth. He sees the joy of the Lord coming from us. And I see the same thing with him. We're friends. We're colleagues. It's not about a competition. It's about getting the word out to those that are lost. They were telling me that after choir practice the other night down at Truman, they had an encounter with a lady who was hungry. And they ran inside and gave her some food. And she told them, I don't have a place to stay. There's not enough places in these counties for homeless people. There's not enough places. I don't know what we could do about that, but I know that we should be praying about this. We should be like Jabez. We should be like the person in Isaiah. We should want to see more people saved. We should want more leaders raised up. And we should want to make a bigger impact in our community. I want you to begin to pray for growth, but for anointing and wisdom and protection. I want you to begin to act out what you know is the truth. We're all about to transform lives. If you've never worked in the food pantry, I'm going to challenge you. Come visit. Come hang out at the food pantry one afternoon. You will never look at people the same. True, Sue? True, Ed? You'll never look at a person the same after working in the food pantry. Right, Nancy? You'll never, ever have the heart that you once had. It'll be open and it'll be wounded and it'll be those tears that fall down your cheeks. This week, invite someone. Start serving in a different way. Join the church. Make a community impact. But I want you to notice that Jabez asked for God's hand to be with him. Church growth without God's presence is just marketing. God is present in this room today. We're not just marketing Jesus. We're wanting to share his presence with others. Please, please be about the business. Move from the tent to the yurt. Amen?